If you walk away, you know that they know you're okay.
Right there. The car burst into flames. It was a terrible crash. The rescue squad worked nearly 10 minutes before they were able to free Ungast from the remains of his car. And we'll take another look at it again right here. Losing control at a tremendous speed, crashing directly into the wall.
It's still not out. They appear to be in pretty good order in the first 5 or 6 rows at any rate. A little bit ragged towards the back. And look out, a crash before the start of the race. It was Kevin Kogan from the middle of the first row, suddenly taking a hard left turn. Tires flying. How in the world could this have happened?
Absolutely no idea, Jim. That's one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen. Remember, they were going about 130, 140 miles an hour when that started, but there is just no explanation, and now one of the favorites is totally out of the race.
And Dale Whittington's car is up against the wall. That's one of the 3 Whittington brothers. Number 40 you saw there was Mario Andretti. There is the number 4 car of Kevin Kogan that appeared to start it all.
Roger Mears is out of the race with a damaged right front. Jim, this is absolutely...
Well, we've seen many...
It's just...
That's the yellow car. Johnny Parsons, Mario Andretti.
Oh, no, Mario.
Andretti hit the wall. Parsons, the yellow car down low. And there, Andretti still sliding. Other cars getting around.
There's Holmes on the inside. Howdy Holmes getting around.
And again, the tremendous adhesion of these cars to the road.
Oh, but he's not moving.
Get around.
Jim, that's Mario. He's not, his head isn't moving.
No.
There's Johnny Parsons. He's at least conscious and okay.
Well, Parsons started the incident, unaccountably spinning there. Just seemed to have lost it going into turn 1. He's okay. At least he's moving and getting out of the car. But Mario appeared to be perhaps unconscious, certainly not moving. Now, perhaps not. Hope his legs aren't pinning the car.
Here's a look. There's Parsons. He goes right under Mario. Let's see what happens. He loses it. That's starts to fishtail, and he's losing it. That's all. And now Mario, this is the nightmare. Where can he go? He can't go around him. I don't think anything broke in Parsons' car. I think that's probably a driver. It's hard to say. Mario couldn't go around it. Mario's looking at exactly what he looked at last year when he couldn't avoid Kevin Kogan. Second year in a row, Jim.
That was before the start of the race. On the start, remember, watch as he comes up against the wall. Again, fortunately, the angle into the wall appears to be not too severe, but then why isn't Mario moving? Driver, tentatively identified as Pat Bedard. Well, you see that smoke. That's not it. Here it is over here.
Yeah.
Into the inner wall.
The inner wall
flying.
there. Incredible.
Well, you see it.
Violence. Well, now you know what happens when something goes wrong at 200 miles an hour. You know, sometimes, you know, Jim, you really don't understand the speed.
But the flying parts, again, do dissipate the energy. They, in a sense, give the driver a chance.
Suddenly, it's Rich Vogler into the wall. Tom Sneva also spins and visits the wall. There's a big mess to clean up, and the race is slow.
We have 2 cars crashing here in the first turn, both of them up against the wall. One driver is out of the car. We have debris all over the track.
Before the crowd can catch its breath, Sullivan dodges danger 4 laps later.
And then I thought, when I got through that, I thought, you know, we're having a pretty good day here. This is kind of going our way.
Last year, you see him going into the wall on the lower right there. We don't know exactly how that happened.
It was turn 3 where this took place. Now we are in turn 3, and there you see on the right side of your screen, Rich Vogler in the wall at that juncture of the track.
Major problem. A spin in the first turn puts drivers under caution, but does not seriously affect any of the pre-race favorites.
In turn 2, Scott Brayton loses control, collecting Roberto Guerrero as sliding into the wall. As the tires bounce and dust swirls, Tony Bettenhausen fails to elude the tangle and also stops against the outside wall. The yellow caution flag reigns in the field. The GMC safety trucks arrive. All drivers are out of their cars safely.
To the safety of these cars, Kevin Kogan climbs out of his broken and split machine. A tremendous impact against the wall coming off of 4. The yellow flag flies. There's debris on the main stretch.
What a star-crossed
fourth turn. Kogan taps the outside wall, the inside wall, and then the end of the pit wall. Now there is an attenuated barrier right there at the end of the pit wall. There is also an ABC Sports camera right at the end of that pit wall. The field now very, very slow behind the pace car. Here is that camera at the end of the pit wall. You see Kogan sliding. He comes down. Now watch. Kevin Kogan impacts the end of that attenuated barrier.
We have a crash. We have a crash. We're trying to get the number right now, but the nose has been knocked off the race car. They're actually against the outside wall approaching turn 2. Danny Sullivan is in the cockpit.
Sullivan shunt on lap 19.
We'll keep a close track of this situation with Kevin Kogan. Look in the upper right-hand corner here as we look back toward the situation that set up this yellow. Both cars hard into the wall long before they were into the corner, Bobby.
Well, they certainly did, and of course we didn't see it soon enough right there in that shot to be able to make a call on it, why it happened. But boy, I'll guarantee you they both hit the wall hard, and obviously from all the damage we could see that anyway. But there's Kogan behind. And you know, the new cars.
And Freddie's car to get him back in the action. Here's the view across the short chute. A lot of damage to the right.
Here's regular speed again from in-car. Now you watch him. Watch his hands on the steering wheel. Now, Danny, the thing's really strange. We know the front end just let go, probably from track conditions changing. Oil, water on the track.
Well, Danny Sullivan had. Of course, the service for all of us, Channel 6 and ABC and everybody else, comes from Telex Entertainment. And I don't think under the yellow that they were particularly ready or expected anything else to happen, especially since they'd already had one incident with John Paul Jr. And so the best we could capture of this was onboard camera footage. And Dennis Vitolo certainly described it. And to his credit, he fessed up to it right away that he was just hauling the mail coming down that warm-up lane and ran.
Well, a first lap incident is one of the great fears. Here it is as the leader, Scott Goodyear, came off of 2. Now watch way up in the corner. Suddenly 2 cars get together, and that was Cheever and Fox. The field darts to the inside, many using the warm-up lanes, which were only built here a few years ago, but probably saved many drivers here today. Stan Fox looks like he got into the wall incredibly hard. We're concerned about him, very concerned. We'll keep an eye, and we won't report anything until we actually have it confirmed.
You can see as we look at this second replay how many tires and suspension pieces began to come off the cars right away and affect cars that really were not part of the original accident at all. Lynn St. James was one of those who was tagged by flying debris. Here's the third one from the car of Bobby Rahal, who of course started fairly far back in the pack. Watch to the right of the screen, and there's where the debris is already bouncing around. Remember, carbon fiber is dark.
Control.
Spins there, and he gets up into the...
Look at Sam Pedri.
Whoa, I've never seen that red car get up like that into the fence. He's upside down still right there. Now he hits Salazar. He's still upside down, and it flips him back over. Unbelievable. Unbelievable accident right there.
Another look at it. Here comes Guerrero. He loses it.
He just loses it. Whoa!
Whoa! Up so high over the top of the camera.
And those two guys were, look at that. The force in that just took those unbelievable accidents.
Now that hit on...
The thing just jumped sideways. Now that's a little bit early in the corner, but you see it does a 360 and it gets in left front, left side, both left sides go away. Very heavy impact, and you know, it's such a fine line. We're not sure, again, we've seen this with engine failures causing this kind of situation. People don't realize how much of a fine line it is. Again, the car jumps sideways. We're not sure what the reason is, but they're doing almost 360s, and it's getting into the nose of the race car, and it slaps both the left front nose and left rear real hard.
We didn't see anything as the car started to slide that would indicate an engine failure. All of that analysis will have to happen. Our concern right now is for the good health of Scott Harrington. Sports Center
Incident in turn 1.
Well, heavy traffic, 3-4 cars side by side. Oh, yeah, down on the inside, they get sideways. The 2 guys trying to go on their outside. And then the last guy in, he had to run over debris or got down on the grass and the car didn't turn at all. And he went real close to 90 degrees in. Yellow car's backed in early. It's really hard to tell how they got started, but look at that, come in late.
And that is Sam Schmidt, the yellow car that came into the wall.
Life was having a great time.
Lyon just crashed at turn number 3. Was trying to go underneath the Tice Carlson car. Got loose, got sideways, backed it in, and is now stopped at the short chute over in the exit of turn number 3. Ari ruined his chance to go out on top. The impatient move cost him the lead in the win.
I should have known better. I could have waited.
Second caution of the day just coming out. The safety truck arriving at the scene of Lynn St. James accident. And here's Sarah Fisher, who's also stopped on the warm-up lane.
Both gals at once, Bob.
Looks like she has a problem on the right front, Tom. I don't know. Looks like that tire's a little bit flat.
Well, you can see the marking on the side pod, so we don't know if she got involved with Lynn or not.
I think she might have run over some debris, and 2 women are out of the field and 1 to go.
Well, again, you can see some marks on the side pod in this area, as well as the right front.
Tell the guys to get you back.
Here's what happened to Lynn St. James. Oh, they were 3 wide going into the corner.
Well, it looks like Lynn's just sort of got booted out for whatever reason.
Sarah went on the inside of Lynn, but another car was on the inside of Sarah, and it just got too crowded. There was not enough room. Here we go.
Again, they were 3 wide. Well, Lynn's already in the wall. Sarah's in the gray, and she's going to take the right side of the car. Right rear first, then right.
DeVaron running third. Here is Mark Dismore running in the 4th position as those 4 cars are separated just a little bit. Ari Lyon bike, and we have another crash. That's Sarah Fisher. Sarah Fisher has crashed in turn 2, and we see another car that is also involved. So an early out for Sarah, and 2 of the favorites are eliminated.
Wow, what a tough break.
And another car is up against the wall. That, of course, is Sarah getting out. So this is at least a 3-car incident in turn 2.
You can see some very heavy damage to the concerned about, but definitely a hard impact on the left rear of that car.
Sarah climbs out. She appears to be okay. Well, we'll take a look at the replays and see what happened. On board with her.
Once again, she's on the white line. Cold tires, and when she got up there, she collected that other car.
It's Scott Goodyear, that car that we saw up against the wall. So his grill to go Infinity-powered car is history. And there it is. She just takes Scott. Oh, and that Sarah got a little bit airborne there as she hit the outside wall.
Die Breck, glaube ich, beim Überrunden. Und das gibt es öfters mal bei Indy Racing League Rennen. Wenn es nicht ein mechanisches Problem war, dann war es wohl ein Problem mit dem fehlenden Anpressdruck auf der Vorderachse bzw. auf dem vorderen Spoiler. Ach, ist das dumm, ist das Pech. Dumm meine ich nicht als dumm.
When you look at right now, you've got Penske, Andretti Green, Chip Ganassi. Oh, Scott Sharp.
Scott Sharp catches the wall hard, too, but you can see him moving around. He's okay. That's off at turn 1 and the short chute down at the south end between turns 1 and 2. He was running 8 at this point. Oh, man. Vince, what's going on? You're down. Everybody tries to get it slowed down to make sure they don't get on that carbon fiber debris. That brings a caution out. This is the 63rd lap. Oh,
always amazes me. There's Mark Taylor sliding to a stop, and how fast the safety crews get there.
Not been Mark Taylor's day.
But he was still there, and they hit.
Ed Carpenter, the other car.
Ironic, guys, that both Mark Taylor and Ed Carpenter are side by side in the pit lane.
You think about it, you know, these two guys ran here in the Menards Infinity Pro Series against one another last year. Ed Carpenter won the race held here, Taylor the series. Carpenter is obviously okay, and that's good news. Well, Scott?
Well, guys, two guys going for the same piece of real estate, you know, and obviously any hit here is absolutely huge. But the key thing is that usually all those wheels coming off end up meaning that you absorbed impact by the car. Now let's see, he's actually going to come down inside. No, you know something?
He got clipped.
Absolutely clipped. Junqueira had the right of way. The slower car needs to stay high and just shoots him into the wall. That's probably at 215 miles an hour, Todd. And I can tell you, that is an absolute huge hit.
Well, I made mention this is a bad crash. Any crash at this place is terrible. At that speed, watch it one more time as he comes to the inside.
Looks like possibly the ABC car of Foyt. See, Foyt needs to be told by his spotter right now that he's coming underneath him. Yep. Foyt looks like he is coming down proper lane, but maybe Junqueira is just a little bit high, trying to drive him up too high and not give him enough space. You know, it's a very tight call right there, but both of them are going for the same place. But race one here until he had a crash in turn 4, just a little bit high there coming off, and the back end walked around from him. And then, luckily, he did not get pegged as he was sliding across the track and hitting the attenuator, which is on the entrance to pit road. Let's listen. Whoa, right, the left front wheel down on the rumble strips, upsets the balance of the car, takes the back end, swings the back end around. And Rusty, you and I have both been in that situation before.
Loose like Davey Hamilton was. All right, so as Danica continues on this quest to win and be the first woman to win at Indy, take a look at Scott Dixon as he's got a half-second lead, but there's an order from pit lane. Scott, here he goes. Oh, no, we had a huge crash. And a second contact, and it looks like it is Tony Kanaan.
That was a big one.
The 7-11 of Tony Kanaan into the wall hard for the second year in a row. And I don't know what happened in this one, guys, because when we saw it, he had already made the first contact. Comes to a stop. The wheel comes off, and the Delphi safety team is right there.
That was a big hit.
I think for his family watching at home, they know that Tony's okay. He's moving inside the cockpit. And for his son, Leonardo, Tony said that he was going to be watching today. His son is only 2 years old. And Danica Patrick gave him a go-kart to use when he becomes of age. And Tony said, I hope he doesn't get into motor racing.
Did you see how he was sitting on the car? He wants to get out, but he just doesn't quite have the presence of mind or the calmness yet to step away from it. That was a big hit. And it's so sad to see this great driver every time he comes to Indy to have some sort of a problem. I'm really looking forward to seeing the replay to see what happened, but he's fine.
He is fine. Let's go on board. Just listen in.
Oh, something broke on the car.
Something absolutely broke and put
And
the
here's
car.
the-
But you can see Mike moving inside the car. He's going on the inside of Ryan Hunter-Reay. This reminds me almost of Dan Weldon's crash here in turn 3 and 4 quite a few years ago. And the car is up into the fence, which is almost reminiscent of Kenny Brack's accident at Texas quite a few years ago, guys. Very, very lucky.
You know, he was incredibly lucky that he did not go head into that fence. That is a horrible impact. Wow. Go, and he's the Indy 500 champion.
Panther Racing, oh so good. They finished second here, twice here. They come again through the final 2 corners. J.R. Hildebrand.
Careful of traffic.
He's got to get around the lap. Traffic. 100 years. No! He hit the wall! Just like Thomas Schenker.
Keep your foot on the gas.
Dan Weldon is going to win the race.
That is unbelievable. Oh my goodness.
Coming down the front straightaway. A little bit further back there, you saw a couple of cars taking a peek, but nobody could make the pass at this stage. Whoa, a leg wiggle there, look out! Spin, going into the wall! J.R. Hildebrand has hit the wall in turns between 1 and 2, and there you can see where he stopped.
Very unfortunate. He never really got a chance to even get going.
Здесь было 1 в 1 у Курта Буша на практике в понедельник. Резко заскользила машина на выходе из второго поворота, и буквально в боковом скольжении тогда Курт Буш влетел в стену, и машина была тогда чуть сильнее, но практически точно так же разбита у чемпиона Наскара. Все равно в любом случае обидно.
That is close. Karam is in trouble. Hard crash.
I just started to say bail out of it. It's not worth it at this point in the race.
He had worked his way up to 6th place.
Teamed up with a local team here, Dreyer and Reinbold.
Turbo is on a little bit of fire.
The safety team there, Patrick beginning to climb from the car.
She's got the helm off over there in turn number 2. Let's give her a round of applause in the area.
Top right.
Very similar to Ed Jones. In the middle of the turn, the back end starts to come around. I thought that she was dealing with a car that was very neutral. Too positive on the front. When we watched her earlier in the race, that means it's very difficult to turn into the turn because the back end wants to swap ends. Not sure if that's the case there, but looks very similar, as you mentioned, Eddie, to Ed Jones.
Gets down the inside, and he's just, they touch wheels, and they touch. So he was obviously upset with Sebastian Bourdais that he turned in on him when he was there.
He hasn't even stopped yet. He's trying to discuss.
That wasn't a nice gesture slap on the head. That was a slap on the head. Hey, I'm mad at you.
Well, Rahal was about a quarter of the way up, and you can argue it both
Already way loose, loses it, brushes the wall, not super hard, and then it just hooks itself, and that's the worst case scenario right there. He's going over 100 miles an hour and comes to effectively a full stop. Listen here.
Right there, Pato O'Ward, they both became first-time winners.
Rahal lost it out of the pits.
Cold tires.
In front of the leaders. That was, a tire was hit.
And a tire went into the infield. He was coming out and trying to hustle it on the warm-up lane, and it's so easy to do. Cold tires, narrow track, and he lost it right in front of the field, and it was a hard hit into the wall.
Fourth crash. Unfortunately for Team Penske, it is Scott McLaughlin who was the highest running of the Team Penske Chevrolet drivers. This is what happened to the driver of the yellow submarine. Wow, that is big.
Wicked wiggle at the apex of turn 4. That could have been
Turn 3,
even worse. Sorry, 3.
He stopped in turn 4 because of the speed you're carrying. And I'll tell you what, guys, once you hit the first time and get rid of that crash struck.
Is Rosenquist. Newgarden goes around him, getting a little high.
Yeah, when the car in front of you comes down, it takes a bit of the air off your front wing. You lose some front grip. Joseph left him some room on the bottom. It's not like he took all the racetrack. You see that, but Felix just getting in the dirty air, and then once you hit that first
point,
wall,
that right front steering arm is broken, and he can't steer the car. He's out of control and just a passenger. And here comes Kyle Kirkwood, almost avoids it as the left rear comes off. And a vicious crash for Kirkwood. Cockpit first to